And this camera is actually kind of a funny one because this is one of the very first cameras I sold as Japan Camera Hunter back nearly 10 years ago, which has come back to me now.
Not the same exact camera?
The same one, the exact camera came back to me now. The guy dropped me a line about, a year ago and said, hey, I've still got the camera, haven't really used it that much. Could you sell it for me?
What's it done in price since then?
It's like doubled.
Nice, good investment.
And I said, well, sure, I can try. It's not, because this is a luxury camera, whereas you can get a standard G2 for $1,000 with a lens.
It's just the paint.
It's just the black, so the black makes the prices a lot higher, and a lot of people are like, no, that's just not justifiable, and I can understand their thinking, because it's no different from a chrome one.
Well, we'll touch on that in the second video because it's probably to do with the scarcity, right?
Yes.
But all of that nice little preamble is a great introduction. I think I'll just leave all of that in. So, hi folks, here in Tokyo with Bellamy, Japan Camera Hunter. I was stopping by to check out what he has in stock and drop something off, actually.
Sure.
But I thought whilst I was here, we could sit down and have a chat about some of his favorite film cameras for street photography. I'm behind the camera. I'm looking at a cupboard full of amazing cameras, but they don't always have to be Leicas, right? So so maybe your personal favorites, or just what are always popular?
Personal favorites. I mean, a long-time personal favorite, and I think everybody knows this one, is the Nikon F3. Like, it's not the ideal street camera. It's not even the ideal Nikon SLR. I just love it. It's beautifully designed. It's tough. It can go anywhere. It just keeps on working. It's not the most adaptable. I mean, if you really want a great SLR, manual SLR for street photography, buy an FM3A. And it is the pinnacle of what Nikon have done with their manual SLR cameras. It's got everything in it. And
what do they go for these days?
About $900 to $1,000. It depends on the color and the condition, obviously. Whether it's been serviced or not. You can find them cheaper, but
so the F3 is cheaper than that?
Oh yeah, F3 you can pick them up for like $400. Okay. Still now. But if you don't want to mess around with manual and you're like, I'm not sure, perhaps a transition, buy a Nikon F6. Seriously, that camera is absolutely bonkers. Every time I pick one of them up, I'm like, oh, I really should own one of these.
Yeah, and
it is an outstanding camera.
They're still selling new for what, like $2,500?
They still sell new, but you can buy an absolutely flawless one for $1,000.
Oh wow!
You can get a stunner. You can get a fully serviced one, which has had the upgrade. So it's had the firmware upgraded and the internal battery upgraded for about $1,400.
Okay.
And that's as good as a new camera.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, those are something I find quite a lot of. People really like those cameras.
So what the Ricos, do you trade in those much?
The Ricoh, the GRs, I used to. When I first started, I sold a lot of Ricoh. I mean a lot. And I was always insistent on they had to be serviced. So I had a good relationship with Ricoh Service Center. And so I would buy 10 of them a week, GR1s, GR1S, Vs. I'd take them in, have them serviced, and then sell them. And then everybody else went, hey, this is a good little camera to sell. and they just disappeared. The shelves were empty. Yeah. And then the prices started doubling and tripling. And then Ricoh said, yeah, we're not servicing these anymore. And so I went, okay, yeah. So I stepped back from those. I don't source any compact cameras anymore.
Okay. Even on consignment?
I sell on consignment, but I don't source. I won't go and find them.
Gotcha.
I will sell on consignment if it is a camera I can have feasibly serviced. Because I prefer to have cameras that have been at least a basic CLA or a basic checkup before I send it out, rather than just...
That's not something someone other than Ricoh could do? Or, for example?
There are some people, but they're not in Japan. So it would be logistically very complicated for me. Whereas, you know, with some of the other cameras, I can still have, maybe not in all cases a full overhaul done, but I can still have a checkup done to make sure they're working.
We got through one of our favorites, the F3. What else in terms of street is either your... So this is like the gentleman's luxury.
Yes, right,
camera,
yeah.
right?
So Nikon 28 Ti. Well, 35 and 28. Now, it's not the ideal.
Which is the rarer of the two? Or the
28. It's not the ideal street camera because it is actually kind of slow compared to others. But it's gorgeous. It's really...
It's lighter than
really,
I recalled. I mean, I know obviously titanium, but...
It's a pretty camera. The dial on the top is lovely. The lens is pretty good. I mean, optimally, I think most people want the Contax T2 or T3. Mm-hmm. Prices for those now are pretty high. And so I often recommend people to look at the Ashoka, the T series, the T-Proof, the T4, because you can still get them for fairly reasonable prices, though the prices for those are going up as well.
What could go wrong? You take the stuff out of the cupboard.
So now people are starting to look at things like this, which is the Natra, Fuji Natra. This is a 1.9. It's the fastest of all the compacts. Don't know if there's a battery in that one. But there's, so that is also, there's probably no battery in it. That's also a viable option. Fuji Class as well. And so, you've got people now looking at the Pentax SBOs and the Olympus Stylus. The prices are an Olympus Stylus or a Mu or whatever you want to call it. I've gone nuts. Yeah, I've seen them online for like $500.
I think I have one of them at home. I didn't know that they had a decent lens or anything.
Oh, they've got a great lens. They're easy to use. Really easy to use.
So it had like a big chunky sliding...
Yeah, big sliding door, weatherproof,
Really though?
Really, yeah.
Okay.
But
what about interchangeable lens options?
Interchangeable lens options, I mean, the king is probably the M6, really.
Is this your one?
No, that's an M4. That's an M4 black paint. This M6, this isn't mine, but interchangeable-wise, I mean, you can pretty much put almost any Leica lens on it, and it'll work great. It's a workhorse of a camera. As it goes, easy to use, easy to repair. Prices have gone up, but that's the way of the world. Everything's going up, and as nobody's making them, the older they get.
But Leica is servicing them, or you?
Yes, Leica still service the M6, but you can go elsewhere as well. There's plenty of repair people who are good at what they do, and parts are ubiquitous. You can get them. So a repair isn't generally expensive. It's like having a nice car. You can look after one of these, and it will keep on going for 10, 20, 30 years. And when it comes to medium format, that's what I consider to be the daddy.
I mean, it's comically large, but then it's comically heavy as
well. Yeah, it is, but...
It's like a VHS cassette milled out of brass or something.
But as it goes, as a camera, I mean, that lens, pop the bellows out. So you press the lovely red button and out they come, there you go.
Wow, so what's the difference with this one's the...
So you've the Mammy
film stock.
Mammy is 6, same 120, not 120 millimeter. I mean, differences are obviously this one is a fixed lens. The Mammy is an interchangeable lens system, so you can put other lenses, the Mammy lenses on it. I prefer the glass on that camera. Both are excellent at what they do. This one's obviously it's a 6.7. This one's a 6.6, so it's a slightly different frame format. Mm-hmm. But then, if you really want to sort of get in between the two, this is the one all the cool kids like, and this is the Fuji GF670, which is known as a Voigtlander Besser something or other in Europe. And this has got an interchangeable switch, so you can switch it between 6x6 and 6x7 if you open it up. There you go. And there's your little switch here, and it will change the frame format for you. And this is a great camera as well. Obviously, it's portable because it's foldable. But then that makes it inherently less tough than some of these cameras, you know.
So speaking of, you know, Q4 2019, by next year it could have changed, but what are these three running for, roughly?
That Mackin is about $3,000 US.
That's for a fairly clean one.
For that one's mint. That one's just been serviced as well. So, I mean, you can pick them up for probably about 2.5, maybe a bit less if you're lucky. But the problem with a Mackin is there's not many places that can service them, and servicing can be very expensive. So you ideally want to get the best one that you can. You don't want to start going and buying one that's a bit off and then going, oh, don't worry, I'll get it serviced, and then finding out that you can't.
Yeah.
The Mammy, now I used to pick these up for $1,000 and they're $2,000 now. $1,800 to $2,000. Again, that's for a really clean camera. I don't do not clean cameras, if you know what I mean. I don't.
Your grading system doesn't
my grading
go down
system
to, junkers or anything.
Yeah, I think my grading system doesn't go down to eBay Mint plus because that doesn't exist. Oh my god. And one of these, you're looking at about $3,000 for a GF670.
Okay.
Around that area.
Question on that, and I hope this isn't too tricky a question. When it comes to grading, obviously everyone has their own standards, and some, I think, do genuinely try to...
Absolutely.
Like you see some tables of our mint equals this company's excellent plus or whatever.
Sure.
But, so I remember I think it was you told me a story back in the day of a lens, that wasn't mint because it had an 1/8 of an inch tiny scratch somewhere on the back. But so how does that work? Is there obviously an 1/8 of an inch scratch on the front element may count more than on the back? Like, how do you...
Mint means mint. Mint means like a freshly minted coin. So something that is mint should be like new.
How do you say it's mint minus versus excellent plus?
Right, so I would consider mint minus as something that barely has any signs of use.
You'd have to really look
You would have to really look for it. If there are any inclusions on the glass, if there's a scratch or a mark, that doesn't qualify as mint. That doesn't even get there. And you have to tell people what's wrong with that. That you have to say that this is on here. If there's even dust in the lens, I'll say it. Now, you can have a mint lens with slight dust inside because it's 40 years old or something.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to have something in it, but it still performs and it doesn't affect the performance.
You just have to disclose it.
Yeah, but as long as you're open in your description and you're open in your disclosure, I think that's the important thing. There's a lot of sellers who hide behind mint or whatever, or mint minus or whatever, but they don't tell you what's actually going on. Excellent is something that's got signs of use.
Okay.
Still functioning. But again, the importance is not... People shouldn't put so much importance on that label. Mint minus. Look at the description. Because that's going to tell you what the camera really, or the lens really is. I think the whole description or grading system has been corrupted by sites like eBay. And other sites who are trying to go, well, our grading is like this of this site. Why do that? What's the point? You're just creating unnecessary. Work on your descriptions. And I will always, if somebody mails me and say, hey, you've described it as this, can I see more pictures? Sure, I will send you more pictures. I will tell you about it because I don't want to hide anything.
Yeah. So how obviously it's going to vary between a Leica and a Fuji, this and that. But if something is not suddenly surging in popularity,
right?
It seems like when you, for example, one of the good Leica lenses,
right?
After a certain number of years, it depreciates 30 or 40%.
Sure.
But then it seems like they kind of hold their value. If you don't degrade
generally,
the condition, is there a time frame for that? Like, would you say after? Well, I guess because some of those are 30 years old and some are 5 years old.
It's hard to say because there's sort of waves in popularity as well. So I think there's a certain name cachet, right? anything Leica generally holds its value. It's like anything Rolex generally holds its value. In some cases, if it's rare, it increases in value. But they'll generally hold what you pay for them. You'll probably, I mean, say you bought one of these, a Summicron Rigid, right? And you buy it for, what, $1,400 for a really nice one. And then you use it for 3 years, but you use it carefully. You don't put any marks on it. You keep it clean. You make sure it's stored properly. 3 years later, you'll sell it for what you paid for it, you know? Whereas if you did that with a Nikon 50 1.4 AIS, you might get what you paid for it. Probably wouldn't, but it comes down to what websites are featuring what, you know, because you could have something really obscure and all of a sudden, I don't know, some site features it and that's it. Everybody wants one and the price goes. And then Kendall Jenner picks up something and the price goes, and then Jeff Bridges picks up and shows everybody, hey, look, I've got a wide lux. And it's like, oh, God, here we go. You know, because everybody wanted a wide lux after he was on Jimmy Kimmel. It used to be that you bought things, you didn't buy camera lenses or cameras as an investment. You bought them as something you would use. And now it's come sort of around where people do buy camera lenses for investment. And I do get people mailing me saying, hey, what would be the best investment? I'm not going to tell you what the best investment is because
that's
I want you to
an investment.
I want you to use it. I don't want people to buy it like, you know, I'll have 10 of these and put them in a safe. That's not fair. I want you to use it, you know. I've been lucky with the cameras that I've bought for myself. They've increased in value. And I've used them. I haven't even babied them. But they've increased in value. So I don't know if that will maintain. Yeah. But I have no intention of selling them. I would say to anybody, don't buy a camera to, you know, hoping to recoup your money. Buy a camera to use it and enjoy it. And that is the investment because you're enjoying it. It's an investment in yourself.
Nice. So I don't know that we got anywhere through our list of street cameras, but that's fine. So what are a couple of the ones that you own for yourself of your favorites?
There's one over there. I'd have to, hey Michael, can you...
That's Sony A7.
No, I hate that thing. Baby? Yeah, my baby.
Oh, this is the same one you've had each time we've made up the black paint? Yeah, the same one I've had.
You've seen it before. Everybody's seen it before.
Thank you.
That's my baby.
Oh, that hood has seen some action.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my MP6. That's never going to be for sale, you know. I bought that as a present to myself as my first achievement, you know. And, yeah.
Always with the 35 Cron?
Always, yeah. I don't think I've ever had anything else on it.
Here you go. You've earned it. You should hold it.
The other ones, I don't actually have a personal collection, a large personal collection, because I sold a lot of it off. Because I found my dream camera. I do have some cameras which are quite special to me in terms of not necessarily monetary value. A camera that was handed to me by my father before he passed away, and a camera that was given to me by my mentor, which means a great deal. They're tucked away. I also have, Michael, can you pass the Chinon? I have a camera which has my name on it.
Your middle name is Chinon?
No.
Aha.
The Bellamy.
Bellamy.
Yeah, this is the Chinon
Does
Bellamy.
it actually mean something? Because it's like
Bellamy, beautiful friend.
Yeah. That's lovely.
And this is the Chinon Bellamy, and with its barn doors.
Wowzer.
Yeah.
And pool table felt.
Oh God, this is the limited edition.
Well, naturally.
The flash doesn't work.
You had a
the lens barely works.
Universe.
The finder is absolutely ghastly. The camera itself is awful. It's kind of a reflection of me, you know. But hey, how many other people can say, "Hey, right. I've got the Nikon Mat." Oh, you can have a Nikon Mat. Yes, you can. Nikon Mat and Nikon Mat are two different things. They are the same company, but there was an issue with copyright in Germany.
Is there
So
a
they had to-
Nikon matte?
There
as well as
was.
a Nikon
If you
matte?
can find a Nikon matte. But yeah, there was
because Nikon couldn't be
they
distributed in
they couldn't
Germany.
use it, so they had to change it because Contacts, I believe it was Contacts, owned the rights to that. It was a copyright infringement, so it had to be changed.
I would quite like to own a Nikon
Yeah,
matte.
you don't see many, but how many? You know, I mean, bad example. You don't really see the Leica Matthew or the Fuji John. You know, it's
True.
so I'm pretty lucky to have that. It's worthless. Effectively, you probably pick one of these up for about $30, $20, but
If you find one.
but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I have got other cameras, but some of them are, you know, kind of really personal to me. I mean, in terms of value, that one, the Leica is the one. I have got an M3, which I don't use at the moment because I'm thinking about repainting it.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. It's actually that M3 behind you.
Oh, really? Why?
Except not this lens, because I would never repaint this lens because it's worth like $7,000. So, but the lens that it came with, which is this rigid Summicron, this is another one of my personal cameras. Double stroke. Oh yeah, it's a double stroke. It's a late double stroke. I haven't used this in like 5 years. It's just been sitting in the cupboard because I wasn't sure what to do with it. And it was given to me by a dear friend, and I had this. So I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So I'm still unsure. I can't sell it. I wouldn't sell it, but I want to do something with it. It's got Buddha ears on it, and so I'm thinking maybe I'll repaint it as a birthday present to myself or something.
There you go. Nice.
Not sure.
Well, thank you for your time. I think we'll wrap that one there and tune in again, folks. Soon we'll have a second video up talking about the luxury aspect of these and the collectible aspect. There's something that I haven't really dug into, but I think there's a rich vein there.
Yep.
So thank you for your time. Thanks
No
for
problem.
showing all
Thank
of
you.
those. We'll see you guys soon. Now, just